morning. Welcome to Wake and Bake with OldSchoolAndCo. I'm sitting here with my good friend Dabmother 710, and we're just rocking on this morning.
Absolutely.
You bet.
Absolutely.
Going to give a quick shout out to a couple of sponsors.
Yep.
We got Orca, Oklahomans for Responsible Cannabis Action. Right on, they got a lot of stuff going on. And also Yellow Dog Coffee. I love me some Yellow Dog Coffee.
Oh, I do too.
They got two locations in Norman, Oklahoma.
Yes.
Dabmother, what we got going on today?
Oh, just a whole lot of breaking stigmas and just out there.
One thing we haven't brought up is we're going to have
patients.
an all-veteran show, basically an all-veteran show.
Yes, I love this.
You're a veteran?
I am.
Air Force?
I am Air Force. So 6 years.
All right.
Hoorah. Loved it. Best years of my life. I was an aircraft armament systems specialist. So...
and while you were in the Air Force, no cannabis use, right?
No cannabis usage. I was also one of those... I just came into the cannabis usage for about the last 6 years, honestly. And that's where I try to, with the breaking of the stigma part of things, because I was part of that stigma, and I still fight it. Being in a small town, I live up in Perry,
right,
which is about an hour north of Oklahoma City. Love it up there. It's nice. It's quiet, but it's that nice, quiet rural town that still has that mindset that, you know, it's hard. Even with the job that I have, my normal job, I work for a church. So there's a lot of, I hate to say explaining, but sometimes I do have to explain myself because the stigma still sits. In that town, you didn't dare smoke cannabis, or at least be caught.
Be caught, yeah.
Or knew, or they ever told you, or anybody ever knew you did, because you were bad. You were so bad.
But these were the same people that would okay taking Xanax or Valiums or whatever.
And drinking a gallon of liquor a day, or you know, that 30, stopping at that and getting that 30 pack and taking that home and killing that 30 pack every night. You know, so there is, and unfortunately up where I'm at, we still look like we're out partying instead of trying to educate. And that's where, you know, I'm trying to come in and play with even, and educate the people that I know, and just try to put stuff out there with social media and interviewing people and talking to people in the community and even just around, that it's not all fun and games, that we really are out here doing good.
And we're just trying to get to be normal. Now, that's one of those deals. What is normal? To us, it's just feeling to where we can function good, and we're not having to deal with all the things we're having to deal with.
For me, normal is not shaking. The heart not pounding, the gut not going, oh, what am I going to do now, because I want to just run and hide and put my hand in the sand.
Fight or flight, yeah.
Exactly. And I do kind of, when I go to events, I kind of stand back just a little bit until I feel it out and I get to know people. And I am that person that I'm constantly checking my six, and I'm looking around and making sure where the exit's at and where the bathroom's at and where, you know, you never outgrow that.
You never forget
it gets
stuff
ingrained,
like that.
and
You're always planning,
Yeah, you're always planning to see, you know, what's my exit plan in
Just
case I
in
need
case.
one. You know, and it's come into play a lot more. Here
and that's
lately,
one thing I like about us as veterans is we can all come together and we can talk to each other. We can talk to each other freer than we can to other people.
Yes, and you know, getting to meet more veterans and getting to sit down and talk, and we all kind of have that same goal, that not only do we want to be accepted as veterans, and we're not asking to woo-hoo, look at us. That's not what it is. We just want everybody to understand that we did do something. We did go out there. We left our families. We left our own life and sacrificed so much. We want to be included.
Right.
Just want to be included.
Yeah.
So,
and the veteran family, we always forget about the people back home, because it's just as hard on a family back home as it is almost as a veteran that's away.
Absolutely. I mean, the kiddos are trying to hold it down and put that smile on, you know, mom or dad or grandma, grandpa not being able to be home for the holiday or whatnot. This time of year is tough.
Oh, yeah. Holidays are tough.
So, you know, especially for veterans, because we feel like we feel like we have to seclude ourselves a lot, and it's tough. It really is, and it's a stigma alone that needs to be understood. And
I
needs to be
understand
broken.
that, we like to be alone with, I live in the country too.
Mm-hmm.
You like that out there in the woods,
Yep.
you like that being alone where you can
Yes.
rely on yourself.
Yes.
But we've got to come out because we do educate people. We go to these events, we
Yes, we do.
educate, and that's where we talk to different people, and it works.
We do. One cool thing, I'm waiting for them to announce, kind of put the video out there, but the Dab Father and I are ambassadors for Herbage Magazine now.
Right on.
So,
Cool.
so look for us. I'll be at the Cowboy Cup on next Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
To give a shout out for
Hopefully
that.
you're doing a remote.
Yeah, we'll definitely hook in remote. We're gonna advertise from there. We'll be at the Herbage booth. I'll be there Friday, Saturday from 1 to 5. So
All right.
yeah, come by the Herbage booth, say hey.
Well, let's
I
give a
would
shout out
love-
to that. You're going to be at the Cowboy Cup.
I am gonna be at
The
the Cowboy Cup.
Dabmother and the Dabfather are going to be at the Herbage booth. So
The
if you want
Herbage
to come
booth?
by and see the Dabmother and the Dabfather at the
Please
Herbage
do.
booth, come on by
Yeah.
and say hi.
I would love to sit down and talk. We're gonna and also if you're a patient and you're a veteran on my side, I want to interview you. I want to sit down and talk to you about your story, and I want to put that out there in the magazine and on the social media platforms. We want to get to know you. We want to get to know why you use cannabis. We want to know how it's helped you, and just all the
There's
backstory
so many
to your
veterans,
life.
that if we do get put on that usual salad they put us on a lot of times. For pain,
Yep.
you have hydrocodone, oxycontin.
Yep.
Anxiety, you get
It's
Xanax,
Prozac,
Klonopin,
Prozac,
Valium, Prozac.
Valium.
Oh yeah, we should just start mentioning all the drugs I hate with a
I know,
passion.
it's such a pharmaceutical downslide, unfortunately. And the military, they love to just give out the pills. Honestly, if they would let their people smoke a joint,
Mm-hmm.
they would eliminate a lot of the 22 a day for sure. I mean,
Now we're going to have to say that's in our opinion.
That's my opinion.
Not
yeah,
but that is
exactly.
my opinion.
But-
That's okay.
yeah,
Mother.
sorry.
Everybody in this room, it's our opinion, okay?
Absolutely. And that's another thing, reach out, especially this time
Oh
of year.
God, yes, yeah.
Whether you are a vet, whether you are not a vet, reach out. We are here. There's people, if you need to talk and you don't have my phone, you can hit me up on Instagram at dab.mother710. I
That's
never
easy
can
for
remember.
you to say.
It has that dot in the middle of it. It's weird. Or you can hit me up on Facebook at Jennifer Taylor, Jennifer Dabmother Taylor. I'm here. I will talk. I will listen. I would much rather you come and sit at my house and smoke a bowl or whatever, and we sit and cry for an hour, and you walk out of my house okay, then I have to hear about something that bad happened.
And I dig it. That's one of those deals that talking to a veteran and talking with another veteran
Yes.
really does make a huge difference.
It makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference.
All right, I'll tell you what. On that right there, we're going to take a short break to give a shout out to our sponsors. You're sitting here watching Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you toke up and tune back in because I will.
Flex worldwide.
Welcome back to Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you toked up and tuned back in. Going to give a quick shout out to a couple of our sponsors. We got Be Elevated and OTU Media. Rock on! And we're going to tell you if you want to be in the audience of Old School and Co., all you got to do is contact us, and we'll send you some to tell you how to get tickets. Tickets are free, and I always say the second ticket is half price. Right on. Okay, we're joined here now. Me and Dabmother are joined with Lynda Slater, another veteran. Hoorah!
Yes,
Hoorah.
thank you. Yes,
And you're Army, right?
yes. 3 branches now. Army, I did 12 years in the National Guard here in Oklahoma. Yeah.
And
Marines
you
and Air
also
Force.
also set the deal. You were the first.
Female artillery woman, actually. Yeah, 2016, I completed artillery school and fully integrated onto the gun line. And
I got some friends that are cannon cockers. Cool.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, what all did you do? What did you do on the team?
So I started, at the bottom. I was a specialist when I came in, so I was still considered lower enlisted, so I was the number one man. My first job on the gun line was to load the round. Didn't matter if it was high angle or how many, rounds we had in that fire mission. That was my job. And then I slowly got promoted over to number 2, where I got to just move a little lever over, and that was really great. And I, totally advanced.
You just mentioned no matter what angle is that. Now, people that aren't familiar with howitzer.
High angle, howitzers.
Okay, hey, Jarhead guessed right.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot easier to load it if it's an angle like this.
Oh, yeah.
Because how much does a round weigh?
Anywhere from typically like 56 to 76 pounds, and then sometimes they've shot up to like 92 pounds around, depending on if it was white FOF or all those different types of rounds.
All that different stuff. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, so it didn't matter if it was at, what would be a base level, something that you could shoot at your minimum. That's just chest level, so that's just picking up something. It's still heavy, but
it's still heavy.
Just
Putting it in there.
But when you're going against gravity at a high angle, and you're all the way, and I'm 140 pounds, that's half of me going up in the air, and so. Yeah, it wasn't easy, but that's the number one man's job, and I did it. And I was proud that I didn't go in as an E5 because obviously I enlisted in 08.
Right.
There was no females anywhere in combat. I was supply and maintenance supply. And I worked with maintenance units, and we supported infantry. And so I built a great civilian career off of it, worked with truckers and diesel mechanics for 12 years, loved it. And then my unit reorganized, and I had an opportunity to, what they said was go artillery. Not wait 5 years to go artillery.
Yeah.
So I put my entire career on hold for 5 years. I denied an E5 promotion. I'm just like, nope, it's going to happen. And by that time, there was 3 of us, and it just dwindled down to 1 of us that stayed waiting. 1 got her 5s, 1 got to go on a deployment, and here I am, stubborn. Yeah, I'm going to load that round, and so 2016 came around and I did it, and I did 5 years on the gun line. I just got out 2 years ago.
Okay, now.
And I worked actually all the way up to gunner. So I became an NCO. I became the cannon cocker. I pulled the lever. I commanded my team. I, told people when they weren't moving quick enough because we weren't going to be the slowest gun. And,
Yeah,
became a full-on artilleryman.
That must be,
awesome.
In my opinion, it must be fun to be able to make that big bang out there.
We call it a freedom boner.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can sit on that trail, you can stand next to, what is a barrel, essentially. You can be the one that's just standing over there like the idiot holding the white powder. It doesn't matter. When that blast goes off, you get a freedom boner. You just feel it in your body.
Okay, I dig it. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And then it goes right out your ears and you can't hear anymore. Yeah.
Yep, we all know, understand that.
Yes.
Tinnitus comes with the job, but...
And they do they give you hearing protection?
Well, sure.
Oh, sure they do.
I was issued a hearing protection.
And the
I signed for that.
Because we've all seen the cannon cockers whenever they pull the lever, cover that ear.
Although I will say, modernization has helped a lot. We went and got personal hearing protection, and I did get sound deafening hearing protection that I loved. I went and got these really slick ones that could fit under your ACH, because when you have a bun, you're already getting a headache.
Yes, exactly.
But if you put these really slick ones on, it takes that pressure off your head because your chief pushes your head down so he can verify before you shoot. So he just, he doesn't ask nicely.
No.
He's just like, And
no time for that.
Yeah, so I have this modern hearing protection so I can hear his footsteps walking behind me to shove my face down, And then I don't hear the blast of the gun, so... That was cool. That was really cool just to even see different things that have come about from the 3M.
See, we had to wear double hearing protection on the flight line on the aircrafts, but it didn't matter. I mean, you had foamies in, and then you had your headset protection on, but that loud whine of the F-16, that whistle, you can't get past it.
You can't get past that.
So anything in that high octave, I'm out.
Yeah.
Lower voices, lower octaves, I'm great. I can hear all day long, but you hit that higher octave and...
I'm the opposite. I can't hear low voices. I think I just can't hear men. I don't know what it is, but I'm like, what? what?
That's strange because women and children are hard for me to understand.
Yeah.
'Cause
My
they-
husband says the same thing.
Yeah.
Tinnitus, that's what we don't even get mad about it anymore.
Nope.
We're like, okay,
You
ignore
just
me.
need
Well,
a lot
since
of
I've got
Hans.
these new hearing aids, they've made a huge difference. I'll guarantee you, huge difference.
Yeah, it can give you some peace though. You could learn to let shit go or let things go.
Yes.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry. But you can just be like, oh, I just didn't hear him today.
Either that or you have conversations from the other room and the other one's, can't hear you.
Oh,
What?
yeah. Now you've started another career since you've got out of the military.
Yes. So it started while I was just kind of dabbling in it, trying to figure all this out. I mean, there was definitely a reason I waited 5 years. I wasn't stubborn for no reason, And, being able to say I integrated into something, it's kind of a big deal, I've learned. I took it not so much as a big deal. It was just what I wanted. But actually being a female, walking into an all-male environment, okay? A tough environment, an abrasive environment, a sexualized environment. All of those things are real. We're not going to pretend like they're not.
Right.
No.
Right? I mean, we've allowed these careers to go on as rough, rowdy, oil field type, and I'm National Guard.
I've been a
so
roughneck, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was active duty. So.
Yeah. And I'm not saying anything negative against it because I wasn't a perfect soldier. I was the alcoholic, for a long time. I've actually had 5 years of sobriety now.
Congratulations.
Right on.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. I don't talk about it a lot, but yeah. And so I kind of understood a little bit of this rowdiness. I was rowdy. I was, homeless. I've done it 4 years being homeless. I've, come from a family of criminals and, my mom had me at 16. So it was kind of, I understood it. I also understood how to watch it. And I had been in the Army long enough. And so for me, I've learned that I have to get to know why before I can be pissed off at the aftermath of what I'm dealing with. And being able to integrate it into something means you have to be able to connect some way, somehow. You have to be able to start breaking down these stigmas. And for me, it was childhood trauma. What I realized I had in common with all of these men is that we were all fatherless. We had all been incarcerated as juveniles. We had all had some sort of addiction. We had all been married and divorced.
Yeah.
But there was one thing we didn't have in common. Even though we had overcome these situations and we were maybe still rowdy, but we weren't those places anymore. We were hitting our 30s,
Time to heal.
Yeah.
Right.
We were all kind of ready to heal, but from a standpoint of why they were still like this and why I was kind of a little different, I saw that I had custody of my kids. And now all of these fatherless men who are rowdy and ridiculous,
Yeah.
I call them knuckle draggers,
Yep.
they all were angry at the fact that they just didn't either have enough time with their kids or have their kids at all or nobody cared.
Yeah.
And
Right
what
on.
the heck were they going to do about it?
They just needed someone.
And so for me, I'm looking at equality at this point, right? I'm integrating.
Mm-hmm.
How can I be here as a mother and be so equal on this gun line if these men are not equal as fathers in the home?
Right.
Yeah, I said that to a journalist on the Army Times.
And I agree.
Yeah.
They need to have the equality has
And that's when I started this
to be
path.
there.
That's when I started this path.
Well, I'll tell you what, on that
Yeah.
right there, we're going to take a short break. You're sitting here watching Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I'm talking to my good friend Lynda Slater and Dabmother 710. Hope you toke up and tune back in.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. We've been sitting here having a blast. I'm going to give a quick shout out to a couple of our sponsors. We got DC Live and Everything Mary Jane at 19th and Sunny Lane in Moore, Oklahoma. And we've also got Mom and Pop's Grass Station. That's Dean out there. He's at 108th and Alameda, 10808 East Alameda. Sitting here talking to my good friend Lynda Slater, and we just brought Storm's Garden in too. Right on. Now, we were talking about you were transitioning into your civilian life.
Right. And so, being a National Guard soldier, I spent the majority of my time as a civilian.
Right.
But being a National Guard soldier consumes your life as a civilian, okay, if that can make sense to people. It's so much more than just in 1 week in a month, especially when you have a combat MOS. We went from what was only a 2-week annual training to 5 weeks because we have a more serious job we have to train for. We actually do have artillery missions. We fire those things, you know, as mostly civilians in a combat area. So that happens. But at the same time, I'm recognizing this issue and how I was able to integrate had nothing to do with our service. It had everything to do with before our service as civilians, as children, and as what we spend the majority of our time as civilians. And
I just came up with an artillery joke.
Yeah?
Yeah, all that stuff goes over my head.
If you're on our side.
Yeah.
That's a good
See,
one,
this
man.
is why
like
I
it.
love you, Raymond. So Raymond is, you know, full-on civilian. Never been a military. You know, we call you a full-on civilian.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it is specific. You know, there's just certain things that we operate a different way at because of not being a full-on civilian.
Yeah.
Right.
At the same time, you know, I meet Raymond because of this thing I'm doing with dads, right? I'm recognizing this issue on the gun line with all of these dads, but again, we all meet in one place, court. You know, there's not some sort of special court. Divorce court is the same, regardless if you're a civilian or military or veteran. And so it was common ground. Hey, well, what's happening in your life? It was no different, you know, like we all get brought to our knees in family court. It doesn't matter how much they love you on Veterans Day or if you're never celebrated, okay? And so this guy just looked super cool, you know, like I didn't see anybody like that.
Of a stoner, I would say.
Yeah, and I'm still in the service, so I've never smoked pot before. I enlisted at 17. I didn't even smoke weed for the first time till I was like 29, and I just turned 30 last year. And so I was afraid of it. My parents were all addicts, and I was part of the DARE program. And so even like him coming over to my house, you know, and seeing all of this personality.
Yeah, from camouflage to this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were still in uniform when he came over. Yeah. And so he's like smoking pot in the front yard, and we're talking about things, and he's telling me about this cannabis community, and I'm like, nope. You know, not losing anything.
That was like 4 years ago.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And since then, you know, we've kind of, you're at my house. We made a dab bar at my house yesterday.
It was a dab bar yesterday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and what we've started talking about is these generational cycles.
Yeah.
You know, where a lot of us service members end up from, you know, 15-year-old teen moms. You know, where did those children go? Hey, you know, here I am. You know, to fathers who are incarcerated our whole life and addicts our whole life. Like, where do we go as a civilian? Hey, here we are. You know, we survived, but we have traumas. We're getting divorced. We're creating more traumas. Our children are watching this. They're growing up to serve our country. They're angry. They're addicts. Now they're getting pills. It's a cycle. What the heck are we doing? You know, and I took a giant step backwards when I got out of the military, and I said, I'm not participating. You know, like, I'm not participating anymore. I refuse.
Cool, yeah.
I refuse to participate.
You broke the cycle.
I just want to break the cycle.
There you go.
Right?
Break.
And I want to
He does
help
it with
others.
several people,
Yeah, I want to help others too. I've seen it as a 20-year-old. I was homeless from 17 to 21 as a National Guard soldier, like carrying my stuff around states. You know, still expected to go to drill. Living in a 2-bedroom apartment with 10 people who are illegals while raising a child as a single mother. Been there, you know.
Yeah.
You know, watching a father heal and get custody of his kids. Seen it. You know, like, these things can't be broken. Our judicial system doesn't allow it, okay? It is a financial, economic system that is built on breaking us. But there are other options that we aren't looking at. I've been divorced twice. I've never stepped foot in court because no one's going to tell me what I'm going to do. What are our other options? How about the fact that you get a signed notarized letter at your local UPS office between you and your divorcing parent because you're not ready to establish custody, and now you have a legal piece of paper that protects you when you're trying to figure situations out. We aren't looking at these options.
Working together.
Working together. They're not even presented. But why? Because they control the financial ecosystem of our resources. It's how we fund our nonprofits. And so I'm looking at this thinking, okay, I'm a crazy person. How do I explain this to people in bite-sized pieces? I couldn't. But the first thing I could do was I could furnish houses. I believed if I asked people on Facebook for extra, leftover things, they would do it. Within 2 weeks, I had enough furniture being brought to my home from random strangers when I lived on the south side when I met you, that I could furnish 3 homes in 2 weeks, complete homes. And I started it. I just did it. And
you reupholster, right?
well, now I do as a side business because
That's
I quit everything. I stepped away from the military. I stopped my 12-year career with diesel mechanics. I started furnishing houses for free. I have 5 children, and I said, through hell or high water, this is the route, and we're going to take it. And I've been doing it for 5 years.
Right on.
And so now I furnish houses. I've gone all the way to Connecticut. I've I've done speaking engagements in like 20 different states now.
Outstanding. Cool.
I am non-state or federally funded. I'm looking to set up this what's called the backyard lifestyle, where all you need is however much space you have, and be willing to connect with our community scout network that Raymond and I are developing.
Right on, cool.
Because I believe also that I am not the only one that does this. I just want to connect the dots
And resources
and
are too
make
far
a
away.
better system.
They could be right in your backyard.
So through all of this, right, you still got a funding issue. I'm telling you. I had a dream like 3 years ago, and I've been walking this path. Whoever watches this probably thinks I'm crazy. You just have to come to my backyard to see it.
And I'm going to go.
Please do. Everybody's invited.
Yay.
Contact me through Facebook, Lynda Slater. I'm very local, okay? I don't want to be big, all right?
Right.
I want to connect local with local.
Now,
mean it.
how can they contact you?
Yeah, through Facebook.
Okay,
Lynda Slater.
Lynda, L-I-N.
L-Y-N-D-A.
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 And you just change your name, so it's
S-L-A-T-E-R.
S-L-A-T-E-R. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and so through trying to figure all of this out, I have the resource model built, right? I know how to restructure this. I know how to create inclusive resources. I'm going to do it. I got food now. I got furniture now. I got people now. I know things now, right? I've walked it. But there's still this whole funding issue.
Right.
The funding issue, for some reason, is impacted by the judicial system, okay? Because they freaking control everything. And I started wrapping my mind around how I could refund this system, okay? I developed an app. I know.
She's got
Bring this app up. Tell us
Okay.
what this app is, because we're cutting her down now.
I know. I'm about to exit out of this. But it's where the judicial system meets the community in a way better way.
I like the army analogy, the way that y'all described it earlier.
We'll have to tell them later, though.
Okay, got it.
But let me tell about this real quick, because you're involved in it, okay? It's called Civil Rights Matter, okay? One thing the Army taught me was how to document. I integrated. I went through sexual harassment, I've been in the Army for 12 years, and I had a drinking problem. You don't think I was targeted? I knew how to protect myself because they taught me how to document it.
Right.
They teach us that all the time. If you watch social media, people are recording things. They're documenting their circumstances. These are civil matters. Everything you go through in your marriage is a civil matter until you go through a divorce. And then all of a sudden, you should have had the picture, right? It's the same thing with traffic stops, medical marijuana, divorce, racism, sexual harassment, women, empowerment. It's all the same. It's discrimination, period. And I'm a father's rights advocate, and I saw it through that form. And I learned how to document, and I learned that it was inclusive documentation that could work for anybody, especially a soldier. So I created an app that I hope to be looking for investors for, to be honest, to finish investing it. I hope to be able to solicit these resources through a network on this app called Community Scouts, where you can become a community scout, get our backyard lifestyle network while you are learning to document situations on your own accord, because you don't know if you will need it.
Cool.
And when you do need it, you will want it. And you will need to know what and how to document it. And that's what this app is for us as the people to start owning the rights to our discovery. And that funding will fund inclusive resources.
And what's the name of this app? Have you named it yet?
Civil Rights Matter.
Civil Rights Matter.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. So I stopped everything, and that's what I'm pursuing daily.
Cool. All right, right there, we've been sitting here talking with Lynda Slater and Storm's Garden.
Bam.
We had a great coverage of veterans today. You've been sitting here watching Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. Oh, I didn't mention, voted number one cannabis activist in Oklahoma.
That is so cool. Yes,
Yeah, you didn't
so
know that.
cool. I was
Okay.
so happy when I saw that. Old school. Yes.
All right. Hope you toke up and tune back in.